Good afternoon, folks. Another day in the bank. Decided to go a different way today. A lot of backup.
This New Year's, resolve
getting out of the building there. So I decided to go a different way. By saving time, not saving time, unclear. So, a little update for those of you who listen through the videos. The upload for this morning's commute is still in purgatory. I don't know how to fix it. We got some people in the street here, slowing it down. She's in the street with a cast on her foot. And no sidewalk. That's not a fun place to be. We got another person on the sidewalk here. A couple of dogs. I haven't been this way in a while. It does appear that maybe this is something to watch out for after all. Can't say we have the excitement of the weather today. Not so much. But what do we have? We have warmth. Hopefully the giant sheet of ice and snow on my deck will melt. Pressure on a deck. A lot of weight. So on. But we shall persevere. I have not done an afternoon commute film in a while. Reasoning for that is mostly that at the end of the day, I'm just tired. Burnt out, talked out, read out, ready to veg out, right? So, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm not sure I'm gonna drive this car much more this week, so thought this might be my final stream before the 1-year anniversary of the channel. And, you know, there are some things to keep in mind when I think about the progress of the channel. One, there's really very little editing done. Two, I went probably 6 months without putting up anything. Once it got hot, once the sun, sudden red light there. Once the sun sort of came out and messed everything up, you know, I would overheat the phone and the dash, so I said, you know, I'm just gonna stop. So, not only was most of my content pretty empty and devoid, but it was also just non-existent, irregular. So the fact that we've grown our subscriptions where we have, the fact that we've hit 50 subscribers and change, that's pretty cool. Did we get there quickly? No. Did we try to get there quickly? No. My correct lane here is, and we've got an arrow. I'm not sure I made the optimal choice to take that road in terms of time savings, but I did what I did. So here's the question. Do I do I mount the phone in my other car so that I can continue to do this in a different vehicle? Or does that take away from the character and intention of the channel? And that's some soul searching I've got to do on my end, because really a lot of this is about documenting the Cadillac, right? That was part of the motivation, part of the interest. It was supposed to be kind of a temporary thing. Did I think this car would last forever? No. Is it starting to look like a possibility that it lasts forever? Kind of. So it's an interesting choice, if you will. It seems like I drive at times most people don't. 6:15 in the morning, not a lot of people up. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, not a lot of people out. Kind of a interesting situation. So hopefully with the rain gone, the view will be better. That's one thing we hope for. Alright, semi-trucks are coming in both lanes. I need to speed the heck up. One of the left lanes flying around me. And I am at the speed limit. And he's still passing. Little Johnny Trucker or something. Going very fast. That left lane is not usually a very fast lane. Today there's quite the opening. Another pickup truck with their license plate. Typical for Missouri. Why? Yeah, just another interesting traffic day. Everybody's going a little bit fast. Just a little bit more congestion than we're used to. People getting on. Finally, a little bit of slowing down, too. Too wild today. Work, I just don't know why I can't seem to get caught up. I don't have a lot of emails, but it seems like the ones I have aren't clearing off my desk as quickly as I would expect. I don't know why that is. But I've been in town now wow. I've been in town for 6 consecutive business days. And I really did not think I would need 6 consecutive business days to not be to the point of boredom. I thought I would be caught up and then some. Not the case. Close. I've been close for a long time. For what that's been. Interesting. Well, passed on both sides now, so now I need to question whether I'm a safety concern. I think it's worth talking about some heightened lollygag laws. We're seeing a lot more crackdowns in states where they're not even mad at people for speeding anymore. They're mad at people for not getting out of the way of the speeders. And I don't love this. And I don't know how to feel about law enforcement saying, okay, People are going to drive fast. You need to stay out of the left lane. Most of the people who get pulled over for violating a left lane law say, well, I was driving the speed limit. How can you claim I broke a law when I was driving in the fast lane to go the fastest possible speed allowed on the road? How is this a ticketable offense? Yet it is a ticketable offense. Probably not a very cheap ticket either, as you are a moving violation. So, how do we make heads or tails of this situation? You've got people who are frustrated. Well, what are the public interests? One, traffic. We don't want traffic backups. Two, we don't want accidents. We don't want vehicle interactions that lead to accidents. The same kind of prevailing logic used in these left lane laws is the same kind of logic that should be used for the speed limiter to be. If you don't want vehicle interactions causing accidents, don't put speed limiters on trucks. Now, if we wanted to rebut that, you would say, well, the trucks just have to stay out of the left lane. Well, guess what? They're not going to. Because these laws are not consistent. They are not across the board. Right? So, how in the world does one stop one truck going 63 from passing a truck going 62? Do you blame it on the backup? Say, we're ticketing you anyways because you're causing a congestion event on the highway? That seems to be one of the big rubs. So, in reality, when the police are pulling over someone for violating the lollygagging law, there aren't any people speeding to be caught on radar. Oh, here's a hot take. What if I just got hit with something? Piece of rock. What if the reason the police and highway patrol want anti-lollygagging laws is because it opens up the corridor for speeders to get caught and ticketed for speeding? Have we cracked the puzzle, ladies and gentlemen? We might have. The police want you to stay out of the left lane so that people will go 90 miles an hour, get stopped for it, pay a big fat ticket. If you say the left lane is only for passing, are you encouraging speeding? Not necessarily. But you are creating the conditions that enable people to drive significantly over the speed limit. You essentially have regulated speeds in one lane or multiple right lanes or center lane and all that. But then you also have this autobahn on the far left that will be used. What's the rule for breaking the laws or crimes? Is people do it not because they're bad, but because they can. This is a perfect example up ahead. You've got congestion, you've got a tow truck and people slowing down on the hill. Nobody can speed in these conditions. And if nobody can speed, where are the ticket quotas going to go? How does the revenue come in the door? If we're all going 5 under the speed limit and blocking both lanes, Isn't that a problem for the revenue production of the municipality and of the state? It seems quite plausible that it is a problem. This is something I had not considered until now, but it makes sense. So you'll see in states like Colorado, keep left except to pass. And I've always been a bit of a critic of these rules because they assume there's this perfect world where you just keep going around cars and staying in the right lane. But in some respects, that doesn't solve the vehicle interaction problem, because the vehicles will interact as the fast one keeps going around the slow ones. If you stay in the left lane, you're not interacting. You're just going around the slightly slower traffic that's up ahead. It's something that I do and have done, and it's not a practice I find necessarily bad or unsafe. What I don't like is when you're doing that and then somebody wants to come flying up at 90 miles an hour and, you know, flash their lights at you to get over. You know, it's all relative. Speed is relative. What's too fast for this road? What's too fast for conditions? What's too fast for this car or that car? There are different answers to these questions. And we've got an interesting. So this is a car hauler, two vehicles ahead of me. And it looks like he's trying to get over. It's not a car hauler, that's a tow truck. We are still getting moisture on the windshield. Not sure why that is. Don't love it. Do not love it. Alright. But, yeah. Here's the other defense people bring up in a lollygag style. They say, look, man, clearly I was going too slow, but then all these cars started going around me, and I was stuck. I couldn't get over. I was stuck. How could I get over? What was I supposed to do? Are you supposed to put on your signal as a help me please? See, this guy wants to get over. What am I supposed to do? Hit the brakes because he won't hit his gas? I don't know. But he sort of gave me a waving his hand like, that's an example of moving left when I'm not passing. I don't think that's being factored well enough. What if I want to get over to let somebody enter the right lane from an on-ramp? I'm getting into the left lane, but I'm not passing somebody. Should that be an exception? If we're going to have realistic exceptions, where do we stop? And is there any meaning to a lollygag law at this point? I'm not sold on it. And you'll see the rare incident of an officer of law enforcement pulling someone over saying, yeah, I saw you coming up the entire interstate. And I watched you for several minutes. You know, this isn't just you caused an accident for some reason, so we're citing you for this particular law. This is an independent stop and cite event that we're talking about. And I'm just not sure I'm on board with it. I would say that I'm quite on board with it. so bad. I actually thought about taking the wiper off the rear and trying to put it on the front if they were interchangeable. Just don't seem to have the time to do things like I used to. Minor maintenance issues are becoming more and more difficult to find the time to do. Even going the speed limit is kind of a challenge here. We're doing it. Seem to be using gas at a low. Lots of red lights up here. Saw the cascading red lights I talked about earlier this week. When you see a cascade of red, that's a professional driving habit. You look 12 seconds ahead instead of the 5 seconds that you're used to seeing. And that's one way to do it. Let's see if we can get back up to speed. So, we are on Highway 470 in or near Kansas City, Missouri. Weather is a thing. We've got a stopped interstate to my left, moving interstate in the center, happy interstate on the right, mile number 6, counting down. Yeah, I think commuting to the airport was easier in some respects. Just have to see. So the question is, last night, yesterday I watched this video I took yesterday morning, tried with great difficulty to get uploaded. And today, I don't think the video even had the same progress yesterday's had. So the question is, will the overnight, Wi-Fi stability, Google Fiber, will that be enough to clear the cache, if you will, of my live feeds? Or is it easier and frankly just more of a habit to go back to using, I used an app called the Driver app, and I would then save the video and upload the video as if I took it on my own phone. And it took sometimes a few hours, but it was usually done in a reliable fashion. I don't know. I'm still learning, thinking, deciding, factoring. I'm going a little under speed. We're going to speed it up. Stalled vehicle, 71 north. We're going 71 south, most likely. So that's good. I'm just tired. I wake up at 6 o'clock or whatever, and I can be fresh at 4 o'clock. Had no nap, I've had some junk food. Just don't have it. There is a show on the radio I thought about playing and discussing. Maybe add a little political spin to some discussions. What I find that interesting about the show is that the speaker will tear apart the mayor of Kansas City, just criticize him up and down, and then say, okay, joining us on the phone is the mayor of Kansas City. And kind of makes me go, what? It makes for an interesting interaction, because he's listening to this guy on the radio just criticize the heck out of him, and then he has to get on and talk to the host and his listeners. It makes for an interesting morning. I mean, it was the first time I discovered it. I put my headphones on and kept listening. I looked up the radio station on the internet and kept listening on my phone. Earbuds to finish up the show. I just couldn't go in the office and leave this behind. I didn't want to just sit in the car all morning, so I went ahead and kept that on for an extra 20 minutes or whatever just to finish it. It's not something you can see every day in a world of polarized and how do you say polarized world, I guess you would call it. Most people don't want the exchange of, oh boy, those who are in disagreement with them. Still getting some, I don't know, it's just like dirt water showing up. Now it kind of looked like rain. I thought it was splatter, but it could be rain. The fog. So we saw some fog this morning and appeared. What we saw on the morning feed, if you watch it, was nothing compared to what descended upon the area of my office after I got to work. I got to work at the perfect time, because after that fog settled in, we were dealing with a very different ballgame in terms of fog. I mean, you could not, my window view outside was, it felt like I didn't even have a window, because the window was so fogged over, not the glass itself, just the fog outside. It felt like my office got smaller, because the view of the outdoors, it was just gone. It was just fog. So we were very lucky, I think, to get in when we did, that extra 20, 30 minutes that I gave away working for no reason, essentially. Although I'm not caught up, so I suppose it was for good reason. This is always a tight spot because I have to get over about 2 lanes worth to not be in an exit only lane. And the people are not very gracious about letting me get over. As you can see from this Mack trucking empty flatbed, they aren't moving it any. I can get over and move, but I have to get back over. I'm not sure it's worth it, but we'll give it a try. This is a tumultuous few miles of road. Some days it's so backed up I actually take the outer road, which has very long stoplights and very low speed limits. It's strictly designed to deter people from taking it as a highway substitute. They do not want you taking the outer road as a substitute for the highway. They want you to take it to go visit the businesses or to let... should I just get over now? 3 miles away. I'm going to stick with it, ride the center lane, see what we can get out of the deal. Sometimes it is very difficult to move right here. This is I-49 South, outside Kansas City. formerly known as US 71. It is a road I will simply not drive on a Thursday or on a Friday for sure. Thursdays are questionable because so many people take this road to go to lake houses or southern Missouri. It's a big corridor to get out of the city, and they've spent a lot of money to make it bigger and better, and it's still not bigger or better enough. So that's what we're dealing with. We have a backup on I-49, ladies and gentlemen. This is worthy of the outer road, as I'm now only going 20 miles an hour. 20 miles an hour is not... You can see a lot of people are getting off now to go on the outer road. I've got 2 more miles of this, roughly, and we will hope for the best. Sumac Trucking, who flew by me earlier, as you can see, is right next to me, passing by, not helping much. Driving that extra speed did not help them. I think I see sirens, can't be sure. I can't believe we just slowed down for nothing. But I will say this, everything about today so far has told me that this is the kind of day to avoid I-49. Everything about this day. It's just been busy and congested, and when you have a busy, congested day like a Friday, you just don't take this road. But it's not a Friday. It's a Tuesday, and that's what I just can't figure out. Why is this such a bizarre Tuesday? I don't know, but it's not normal. It's statistically abnormal, and I don't know why. We still have 1.5 miles to go to get to this exit. It is not going to be quick. Could I have taken a different route? Sure. Whoa, buddy, you're not getting in my lane there. Easy does it. Yeah, try a turn signal next time. That might help you. Instead of turning into me, put on a turn signal. This is unusual. This is a commute which you can call against traffic. Yet it is not really against traffic today. It is traffic. So why the flow is so bad, I'm not sure. We now have 1.25 miles. Oh, congratulations. We made it 1/4 mile from the last sign. That's just exciting. 30 miles an hour now. I could again go to the outer road. For the last time, I think I rejected that possibility. Every time I get off, it seems like the highway speeds back up, and I'm stuck at a red light for 5 minutes. And you never really know whether you have saved time or not. Ooh, listen to those air brakes. Listen to that. He was struggling to stop. Another good reason to stay out of that lane if you can. A lot of heavy trucks trying to stop, not keeping space. More likely, the passenger cars are not letting them keep that space because they leave a buffer and then someone cuts over and takes it because they say, hey, it's a spot open in traffic. Well, so it is until it becomes the reason you've been smacked by a truck in the back. So I still have 1 mile to get over. I should probably take whatever chance I can get here. I'm just going to take it. There's a commercial vehicle behind me, but it's a van with good stopping power. And holy moly, that's a pothole. Size of bigger than the size of a 20-inch wheel. Sumac Trucking passing me again. The sign now says a half a mile, so we've covered 3/4 of a mile. Should have been well on our way here a few minutes ago, so we're losing time. No doubt about it. The outer road is clearly faster at this point, as I'm going 10 miles an hour. How do you make all 3 lanes stop? It's got to be a pretty bad incident to make all 3 lanes be like this. Very weird. Don't love it. I'd like to go ahead and drive along the shoulder or something, you know. It's pretty terrible. Now I'm being passed by other cars I've never seen, and trucks in the center lane and the left lane. I clearly picked the slowest lane. Will I ever get out? I don't know. Let me guess I will. Taking its sweet time. Who wouldn't want to tune into this? There goes that truck again, trying to stop. Let's all just pass on by. What is going on here? Well, perhaps this is really not against traffic, because this is the route for people leaving town, right? Leaving town. This is your southbound gate. It's not even 5 o'clock. I mean, that's just what doesn't make sense. What time are people leaving work anymore if this is, 4:40 p.m.? What are we doing? What's going on with society? Enjoy the backup, because I'm done with my part. If I had to get out of town like this, I'd be looking at the GPS, soaking my phone in tears. I feel for the commercial drivers, the people who are trying to get somewhere and have to deal with this. You hope it clears up soon. Minutes, probably not going to happen. Alright, so now we are on 150 highway, Kansas City, Missouri, traveling towards Kansas. This is a much better experience than the last road that we just got off, seeing as no traffic. Maybe it was worth it, maybe not. Judging by the viewers who come in for about 10 seconds, I would say it's not worth it. And again, at this time of day, who wants to watch this? You want to watch it on your own time. Maybe that's the secret. People don't want to watch this live. They want to watch it on their own time. Could be. I don't know. We'll do these 3. We'll see how it goes. See what the reception's like. And maybe I'll just go back to the old way. When I want. The other wrinkle being that I won't be commuting a lot next month, perhaps. We'll just have to see. We shall see. Now we're stuck. We got a guy on both sides. He's mad. I can't get over, so he's just gonna ride my bumper like a D-bag. Whoa, man, this guy's cruel. What is wrong with you, dude?
Come on, yeah, come on. Go faster, go faster.
Good night. That guy was out for blood. I mean, I'm going the speed limit. No problems. Okay. Gotta be careful. One of the things about live is I don't get to go back and fix any gaffes, anything I say that's I shouldn't say. You know, you done said it, right? I wonder how close that guy really came to me. I could have brake checked that guy and sent him off the road probably. That guy was so close to my bumper. It was crazy. But, in fairness, I did put on my turn signal, so I was trying to let him know not to pass me on the right. And that's the problem, is we have these interactions, is sometimes the truly aggressive are just going to go around you on the right at the same time that you decide to merge right to let them around you. And it creates accidents. They're not great accidents because they're based on aggressive driving. And it's difficult to tell who's really at fault. I'd like to think that there's a rule for knowing that, but that's not really the case. Not a rule for that. So we've got to slowly reduce our speed as we come into town here. There's my green arrow. I'm not going to make it, obviously, but by the time it cycles back around, it ought to be just about time for me to get it. So sometimes that's a good thing. This is another weird situation where I want to go left, so I'm in the fast lane, going slower because it is 45, 35, and guess who doesn't like that? Everybody. These laws, these left lane laws, they're just not thinking it through too much. Huge line at this light now behind me. I mean, 10 cars piled up quick. Another reason to stay in that left lane because you're just not going to get over 2 lanes in time. And this person really should pull up a little bit more so that we can fit more people in this turn lane because it does get pretty well backed up here. Again, there is no explanation for this increase in traffic today. It's just not adding up. And here we are. All right. Making it through. I should be home right about now. That's how much time we lost back there in the traffic. This has been so nasty. This water and dirt everywhere. Not bueno. Stages of the journey, so to speak. Well, I like I said, it's been a year. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about it. Have I stayed a little bit occupied? Have I gotten some messages out there I wanted to get out? Yeah. Did I take a boring drive and make it more interesting for me? Yeah. I'd say we've done that. I'd say we've done some good things. I don't talk about this channel a lot in my personal life. My friends and family are not fully aware of what I'm doing. I don't want it to be about supporting me. I want it to be about the ideas. If the ideas are catching on, fantastic. I'm not looking for support or following per se. Rather than to have the interest be in the content itself, not necessarily in me. Having said that, I think I've gotten fantastic feedback. A few people who have been in the loop, I've appreciated and listened pretty carefully to any feedback I've been able to get. I haven't been able to implement or accept everything, but anything that I could reasonably do, I did. The most important thing being taking out the long pockets of silence. Because when I realized people were actually watching these things, that changed things. Someone said, hey, the silence is kind of a dud. It's not enough. It is a dud. It is indeed. It is indeed a dud. All right. So right now we are on a street called Kenneth Road, I think, which will eventually become 159th Street. It's a very badly named and laid out plan. I don't know how you go from an east-west road to becoming a north-south road. It's one of those bizarre things only Kansas City is going to do. We do weird things with our roads around here. That's okay. You just have to learn to get used to it. We're pretty welcoming town in terms of people. But our road layouts, they are not so welcoming. They are not so easy to appreciate. Saw a Fiat to my left. I used to own one of these. I still have some car parts for a Fiat. I used to buy all the regular maintenance parts and I would keep them in my garage and do my own maintenance. Spark plugs, oil filter, cabin filter. I mean, I had it all ready to be done at the recommended intervals, right? And I haven't figured out what to do with these parts. It's been a lot of years now. But I keep saying I'm going to go up to a Fiat owner and try to sell him these parts. And so far, I haven't been able to do that. I've seen a Fiat in a driveway, and I've thought, is that weird that I just go up and talk to somebody and offer them something like that? I wouldn't know exactly what to charge them. And I don't know that they would necessarily want them or know what to do with them. You do maintenance on a Fiat, you got to buy some weird tools. I didn't own these tools. I had to go buy strange sockets, various extenders, and all sorts of things that are required to actually conduct replacement of various parts. I just had a great question to myself, and that is, would I remember how to change the oil in a Fiat after all these years? I think so, but I'm pretty sure I had to take out about a dozen bolts just to do the oil change. You got 5 just in the undercarriage cover. And I lost one of them once. Maybe there were 6 and I lost one, so that now I only had 5. And 2 on each side, one end, maybe it was more than that, right? But I knew I was missing at least one bolt. That's one of the costs of doing your own work, is you can lose pieces that really mess up your world a little bit. And you have to go buy replacement hardware. Are you spending more than you would for a mechanic, right? Not fun. I tried to change a battery once, and I dropped a piece of hardware for like a battery clamp into the undercarriage or the bumper, and I couldn't get it out. There was nothing to be done. So to this day, one of my cars doesn't have its battery anchored in the factory recommended, bracket, which I would say in fairness was a pretty messed up system. It wasn't a great system. I still had a lot of the pieces, but not all of them to make a difference. And then if you didn't fit it right into the right hole, it wouldn't work. It's just, if you could take something like changing a battery and making it difficult, that sounds pretty much like the world we live in today. So anyways, sometimes it's not such a great idea. So we are approaching our destination. It has been a long drive, 50-some minutes. It's a lot of your life in a car, no doubt about it. Let's see here, getting closer. Just can't believe how dirty it all is. Windows. It's just so gross. I'm definitely getting a better job of fuel economy this week than the last week I drove this car. I don't know what that is either. We are getting close to the final destination, so I will swerve into this and say goodbye.